Hey, what's up? Rashad, Antonio OG, Calrissian Kids, we back. Ahsoka on Disney Plus, episode 3. Time to Fly is the name of the episode. And of
Mhm.
course, all spoilers, got to talk about the thing to talk about the thing. And bear with me today. I don't know why my camera's acting up, but anyway, I'm just gonna say this before I switch it back on and off, because that's how you eradicate all issues when it comes to things that are technical.
Yes.
So this how I want to do this today. I really want to talk about the episode very briefly. Then I want to
Hmm.
get into two things. I
All
want to
right.
get into number one, the main problem with this show so far,
Okay.
and then number two, what do we hope we get for the last three episodes? All right.
That's right. There's only 3 episodes
Yeah,
left.
it's only
Dang.
six in the
Yeah.
season. So yeah. First up,
Okay.
quick overview of what happened. So just tell us what happened since you just saw it.
Okay. So basically, the show starts off kind of like where we left off, where Ahsoka and Sabine and Yang are on their ship, and Yang is practicing, it seems like, some Jedi forms with Sabine Wren. He doesn't have a lightsaber, but he has like his arms are basically like how we were when we were kids, flashlights, basically acting as the lightsaber, and she had like a stick. And he would call out a form, and she would go, and she would go, and he would do it. And Ahsoka comes in and she sees it, and she's like, not bad, blah blah blah. And then and then Sabine's like, yeah, for someone who's the worst force user, who's the worst of having dealing with the force in the history of the order. And then it was funny because Ahsoka looked at it was like, did you tell her that? And he was like, it's the truth. He said it's the truth. And she was just like, this mother, right? He was like, I'm just saying, it's the truth or whatever. So she explained, because he said that she did good, but not she did okay, but it
No,
wasn't
his
good.
his words was not bad,
Bad,
but not
not good.
good.
Right, right. I mean, you know what that took me back to, Rashad, don't you?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Good, better, best.
Good, better, best. Good, better, best. She wasn't even in good, better, best realm. She was
No,
under here.
not at
And
all.
so Ahsoka basically was like, hey, you're good with weapons because you're a Mandalorian. However, you need to be able to, what I'm saying, use the force as well for these type of fights. And she's like, look, man, I'm just trying to do this. And she gave her the good old fashioned Jedi helmet with the visor down where you can't see nothing. And Ahsoka basically was just like, listen, feel the force, all that good stuff. And she was moving around. That first move, Ahsoka was fast as hell because she was standing beside her. Because she was like, you hear my voice? She said, you beside Yang? She said, really? Next thing you know, she was on the side. She was like, hey, no fair type stuff.
I
So
mean, she got them ninja slippers on anyway.
right, exactly. Got the dago Shogun assassin slippers on out this dago check or whatever. So
American Ninja. Sorry.
it'll snap. Oh my goodness, that's funny. And so basically, she's trying to test her force skills to see, but Sabine picks it up a little bit, but it's still kind of bad in the end. So then we cut to General Syndulla, who's with the like the rebel fleet, the main mass of the rebel fleet or whatever. And she wants to meet with the prime minister, which is our good old girl, Mom Mothma.
Yeah, the
Mom
Chancellor.
Mothma and the Chancellor, excuse me, Mom Mothma, and she's with other senators. And they go in there and they're like, hey, General Syndulla, what's going on? What's up there, buddy? Like, so how's things, how things going and stuff? And she's like,
How's the kid?
yeah, how's the kid? How's little Jason? He's like, yeah, Jason's around here somewhere or whatever. She's like, yeah, I'm sure you're getting into with somebody else's kid. I can't
No, with
recollect.
Chopper. With Chopper.
Chopper. Okay, with Chopper. So she's talking and she's like, so what are your findings? She says, so look here. On Corellia, there's a lot of people that were there that are still loyal to the Empire, and we have them hired, and they're basically doing something. And of course, once again, Rashad, as you said, the New Republic is so incompetent. This senator, this chick senator, don't even know her name, don't even want to know her name. She says, well, of course, we've hired some. this and that. And she was like, yeah, they're still loyal. She was like, but they took an oath to say to, and she was like, yeah, long live the Empire. Doesn't seem like it's the same thing as the oath that you took. And like these senators are looking all like kind of, Mom Mothma's the only one that's kind of has a look like,
Everybody
this
out here clutching pearls and
clutching pearls and stuff. And then you get this one jerk ass senator.
Yeah, her name is Zioni or Ziono or something like that.
Ziona or something like that. And she's basically telling these guys, like, look here, something bigger is going on. And my intel has it believed that this involves Grand Admiral Thrawn. This is where, Mom Mothma was like, oh, snap. And these other senators have, not say they have no idea, they have no idea of the severeness of this, because they're just sitting there looking all smug. And Mon Mothma was like, I beg your pardon. Like, whoa, like he's been missing for a long time. And she was like, well, I'm just telling you this and that. And she's like, hey, look, I just request permission to take, basically a little small fleet to go out to this region where we got the signal at to see what's going on. And then this Zeno, whatever his name is, could this be that you're trying to waste New Republic resources to look for one Ezra Bridger? It's funny because throughout the entire series of Rebels and so far, we've seen Hera be so calm and never really snap or go off. Like you see her get a little irritated, but you've never seen her be like, she was on the verge, I think, at that moment. And her version of snapping and going off, and she was like, look, yeah, Ezra Bridger. And she was like, what makes you think they're alive? They're died, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, look here. She says, Grand Admiral Thrawn ain't no regular imperial officer, yo. Like, this dude is a problem. And Mom Mothma has this look at her eyes like, yeah, y'all have no idea who this dude really is.
Nah.
And so this guy is still just talking real smug about it. And then she asked a simple question. Excuse me, Senator. Did you take part in any wars? Did you take part in the war? Were you a part of the war or anything like that?
Uh-huh.
And that's how you always shut somebody up who claim to know something and they know nothing at all, know nothing at all. And he was like, no. And then she hit him with the, oh, so you just sat back and waited to see which side was going to win before you decided to join in. And when he said, you saw the other senators look like Boulder Dash. I can't believe you said that or whatever.
Boulder Dash.
So she was just like, look here, man. She was like, look, I've been fighting wars my entire life. And she has. She was there for the Clone Wars. She was like a kid for the Clone Wars. And then, since she spent most of her adult life doing the Empire War and stuff like that. And she's like, look, man, I'm just trying to make sure there's no more wars, man. Can we please go out there? And my man was like, no, I don't think so. And she's like, come on. And so Mom Mothma is like, well, let's just let me and the senators get together and they're going to talk about it. So, they excuse her, got to talk about it. And then we see our very first time in live action, little young Jason Syndulla. He looks similar to how he did at the end of Rebels, but he's older, green hair, kind of orangey tint skin, orangey tint skin. A little bit like that, hybrid of a Twi'lek and a human or whatever. So we go back to the ship with Sabine and Ahsoka and Huyang, and Sabine and Ahsoka's telling her, hey, you're doing a good job, saying you're getting better at what you're doing and stuff like that. And Sabine, it's funny because Sabine is still Sabine no matter what, and she still has some of that. She's still that Mandalorian in her, and she still had that young at heart. She was like, yeah, I kind of agreed to do this to hope that maybe we can expedite this whole training or whatever to be, And she's like, look, it don't work that way. Like you have to do it. She was like, what I'm saying, the Force, isn't really strong in you, but you can adapt to it. You can make it yours or whatever. And then she basically shows her how she made the little cup fly over with the Force or whatever. And so then she leaves her there and goes into the cockpit talk to get some corsets. And she says, like, yo, man, why the hell you tell her that? And he's like, look, man, it's the truth. He was like, Jedi codes, baby. He was like, yo, if this was during the order, she wouldn't have been selected. You know, she wouldn't even be here. Like, it is what it is. And then she's like, yo, like, we like, and then he was like, on top of that, she's Mandalorian. We've had like two
There's
other man,
very, very few Mandalorian
yeah,
Jedi.
very few Mandalorian Jedi's. Like, what are we doing here? And she's just like, look here, man. She's like, I see something in her. Don't worry, we got unorthodox. And then that's when Yang kind of like, it's crazy to say this, the human side of him came out as a robot. He was like, well, yeah, you do come from a line of unorthodox training, which means he's coming from Obi. She comes from the Anakin Obi-Wan line,
Obi-Wan, Anakin, Qui-Gon, Dooku. You know what I'm saying?
You know,
Yeah.
right? That's like their lineage or whatever. And so, you know, next thing you know, they're like saying, yo, they get us. You go back into the back, and Sabine is trying to use the Force, and you know, Hera calls in and lets them know, like, hey. They're like, hey, so when that fleet coming, baby, we're gonna get this back up. And she was like, man, they ain't backing me up. There's like, what the hell you mean back you up? Like she was like, yeah, you look, man, I gotta follow orders. Cause she's still a general in the military for them. Signal gets breaking up. They say, hey, what happened? Signal got broke up. There's like, hey, we're in the you know what I'm saying, in the area of this planet. But yeah, the signal break it up. Ahsoka says, drop out of hyperspace. And they jump out of hyperspace for the planet. And then Sabine is like, well, why are we doing this? Blah, 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 blah. And this goes back to Ahsoka, who isn't about Jedi protocol, because she's like, I'm not a Jedi, I'm not about protocol. But Wu Yang was like, well, look here, Jedi protocol says coming to a planet that you know nothing about, stuff like that. You jump out far enough to be able to, so they don't detect you or whatever, like that. And so they're out there. The next thing you know, they get picked up on sensors, and it's a beautiful damn dog fight, like a beautiful star fight going on right now with they're being attacked by
Marok and
Shati. God, what's that girl name? Yeah, basically the apprentice.
Yeah, I found her name. It's like Shati Hatsia. Why are we struggling with this? Yeah, whatever her name is.
Yeah, so they get they drop out of hyperspace and they get attacked, and they're trying to get away. And it's funny because she's like, man the gun, Sabine. Sabine goes back there with the gun. And she's like, yo, could you hurry up? She was like, yo, you changed my settings up here. Like, my settings ain't the same. And she was like, I didn't need them settings because she got them. And she was like, yeah, well, everybody ain't you. And so they're trying to fight. And then Sabine is like, yo, I need you to chill on this flying and stuff. And because they were starting to get killed, they were about to die. And finally, Ahsoka let go and was like, all right, tell me what you need. And she was like, and Sabine basically navigated her and told her what to do to get these people down. And in the meantime, before that really happened, Uyang was like, hey, yo, there's a structure behind on the dark side, on the back side of that planet, yo. They was like, what is it? Star Destroyer? Like, nah, I don't know what the hell this is. Like, this is
like, I ain't never seen this before.
He said nothing like this even registers in my system. And so in the meantime, they're trying to get close enough to see what it is and escape like these five ships that are trying to take them down.
Which very, very like old school fighter jet pilot.
Yes, they look like the old they look almost like the Naboo ones too. The one like basically Din Djarin has that got converted into his new ship or whatever. So they get there, they see it, they're able to take out a few of the ships, but they see the structure and they're like, yo, that's a hyperspace jump ring or whatever. And it was like, you ain't never seen one this big before. And so you think like, I'm getting diagnostics on it right now. He's like, hey, by the way, I need you to get a little bit closer. And so on that hyper jump ring, that's where Elizabeth is up there and she's like fire cannons and they're trying to take them out or whatever. And she tells the apprentice, you know what I'm saying? Shinati, hey, back off. I got this. Shinati's like, all right. You see a beef already right there with them too. And she's like, all right, cool. And they were able to get close enough to get a signal, but in the meantime, the ship took a shot, and your boy Uyang kind of had to power down. He was like out of commission. He had to get his backup battery, had to come in, and then she was like, congratulations, Elizabeth, you didn't take him out. I got this from here, and you just see the beef between those two. And so basically, they found a way. Ahsoka finds a way to get down to the planet and the atmosphere. We get in the atmosphere of the planet. She's trying to get away. And then
don't forget to buy Sabine time
You right. Start
Her
part of it.
behind found her. She got a spacesuit and just was on the ship, just
Yeah.
like dodging. You know what I'm saying?
And dodging and parrying blaster fire from ships. So yeah,
I'm
she's
like,
on like
yo,
on
like
the outside the ship like as a spacewalk, and they're like, yo, the Inquisitor dude was like, yeah, she's on the wing, yo, like what are we dealing with right here?
yeah. So they
And
focus on all her fire on her, and
yeah,
Sabine's able to. And it's a real cool sequence.
uh-huh.
When she had to get back into the ship, you know what I'm saying? So like that was real cool to see how Flippo's side she falls in,
Mm-hmm.
and they go into the planet.
Yeah, the
They
planet
was in it's
atmosphere.
like the Dagon systems like that, was it?
Yeah, the dark Dagon Darren system or something like
Yeah,
that.
something like that, I forgot.
And so then what happens is they're in there and and Ahsoka says, "Yo, I'm sensing something up ahead." It's just like what a fighter, you know, say what another a fighter, and they're like, "No, it's our old friend the Purgle." The
Yeah, so
Purgle,
the Pergil popped back up, aka the Space Wells.
yeah,
And all right, let's just finish this out because
yeah,
we're almost done.
oh yeah,
So Cedar Pergil and Shinhatsi and Maraka behind, they
mm-hmm.
lose them
Mm-hmm.
in the Pergil and then go down to the planet, which has like these red trees and stuff. And the top of her ship is red, so almost like camouflage and blends in. They
Mm-hmm.
fly over, they start the ship back up. Huyang wakes back up and tells him what's going on. He said, "Look, yo, they got like 5 hyperdrives. They got like one more left. They actually putting that thing in right now."
Yeah.
And
And then she
that's
asked the question. He was like, "Yo, this could take you to a greater distance
oh
beyond we can
yeah, yeah,
imagine."
yeah. You
And
can
she was like,
like
"Possibly
another
another
galaxy.
galaxy." And he said, "Yeah, they could possibly do it."
And the funny thing was, he talks about how like the Jedi knew about the Purgil, of course, and
Mm-hmm.
knew about these other galaxies and whatnot as
Mm-hmm.
well, because you
Right.
already know that the Purgil was the inspiration for them to even try to develop hyperspace travel.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the connection there. So
Mm-hmm.
they talk all that crap and they get out the way. Um, Sabine and Ahsoka basically kind of just there for
Mm-hmm.
now. We split to Balin, and he has this little squad. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, y'all. Well, we about to go hunt some Jedi,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how it ends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the entire episode.
It was a very fast moving episode. I think it was like maybe what 40 minutes, if
It was
anything.
37
30.
minutes,
Yeah, see.
and
So
that's
yeah.
with credits. So the episode
Yeah.
itself is probably like 32
30
minutes
minutes,
long.
32 minutes, yeah. So
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 two
what is your
questions.
question?
So two questions I had. So like,
Mm-hmm.
what's the problem with the series so far?
Mm-hmm.
And what do we hope to see from the last 3 episodes? All right,
Okay.
seriously. The first 2 episodes, like I gave a lot of leeway to, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like this is what's really wrong with the series. The first 2 episodes, I was like, okay, they got to establish some stuff. I understand. I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people who haven't watched any of the animated stuff. They don't like
Mm-hmm.
it, whatever. Episode 3 for me was very mid, as the kids would say,
Yeah.
because outside of the dogfight,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it for me.
That's
Like,
it.
the problem with this series to me is it's not about Ahsoka.
It's
Like,
not.
if they would have named this like Star Wars Rebels live action, I'd have been like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, yeah, okay, all right. They just
Or else Rebels heir to the Empire or something like
or
that.
or call this like I'm saying like Sabine and them, but like
Phoenix Squadron.
bro, something else
Yeah.
but Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
Because as of right now, I think Ahsoka has been on screen less than Sabine or any of these other characters have.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
that's the problem for me. For me, that's the problem with the
Uh-huh.
show. It's very light on the Ahsoka. And
Yeah.
here's the second thing about that
Uh-huh.
is it's not about Ahsoka. And then also what they introduced in the first 2 episodes still hasn't been really fleshed out. And that is the
Mm-hmm.
conflict between Sabine and Ahsoka. If you're gonna say, like, look, yo, like that was a very contentious Jedi Padawan relationship,
Mm-hmm.
they don't talk about what they've been through. And
Mm-mm.
this would have been an easy time just to say, hey, yo, like I sucked, or you was an ass to me, or like you
Mm-hmm.
was so bad. Like I've doubted myself the entire time because you was such a harsh teacher, or you didn't learn well because you were so I'm saying so hard headed and stagnant in your ways, I'm saying, being a Mandalorian. Because like they
Mm-hmm.
hinted towards stuff this episode, but it did not actually
Nope.
say the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like it would be nothing to do like a quick flashback. Say, hey, like at least showing there's this. Come on, these are amazing writers and people
Yeah.
who are involved in shows. There are ways to show the greater audience who have not seen these things.
Right.
And plus, none of us seen this because this is a new idea that y'all gave us. Like I said last episode, this wasn't even necessary. Now, in my mind, because you created this conflict, like I
Yeah.
kind of want to see what the conflict. Like I was interested in seeing what this conflict was going to be about.
Yeah.
And for me, that is the problem with the show right now. It's not a Ahsoka show.
That I will 110% agree with you on that. Like it's not a show about Ahsoka. This, you know what I'm saying? And then this goes into people having expectations. But my thing is, you named the show Ahsoka. I'm expecting the show to be about Ahsoka. We had the Book of Boba Fett.
Right,
Guess
and it was
what?
all it was
All
really
it was
until Mando popped up. It was really about Boba
it
Fett.
was
You know
about Boba Fett, you know. So it's right. I mean, like I was expecting to see some like okay, maybe some flashbacks of what she was doing in between the time of her exile to this, or else right after what happened with Rebels. And like I said, we still, like I said, we know there's some not necessary animosity or some type of strife between them or what happened the first time, but we haven't touched on it. Like I said like we said last episode, like no one, they haven't touched on it. It's tiptoed around. Like let us know what happened, you know what I'm saying, between those two. I mean, just like they let us know what happened between Ben Solo and Luke in the sequels. You saw where Luke was like, I saw the evil in him when he was sleeping, and I went to the dark side for a minute. I was getting ready to strike him down. And then when he came to his senses, it was too late. Ben saw him, collapsed the building, was like, yo, let me get out of here. You know what I'm saying? So that's where that hatred came from. We just don't know where you know what I'm saying, where that's coming from. And like I said, it's only 6 episodes. It's 6 episodes. We already done did 3. And now we're sitting here looking at, it's a lot of stuff they still need to cover, because they keep saying you're going to see the rest of the Phoenix Squadron in this. You're going to see flashbacks of Anakin training Ahsoka. You're going to see, I mean, and then of course we still got to see Thrawn, because he's a big part of this or whatever.
Tony,
Yo,
man,
I swear, I'm gonna swear to God. Let me tell you something, man. I'm not saying I'm not going to be done with Star Wars, but I'm gonna be so tight if we only see Thrawn for like the last like 5 or 10 minutes of this series, yo, for real. I'm gonna be super tight
that's what it's
about this.
that's what because that's what it's looking
And
like
that's
right
where it's
now.
right, and that's what it's leaning, to right now. But like you said, the main problem is this series is called Ahsoka, and it's not dealing with Ahsoka. It's not dealing with her. Like you could talk about how she came to the conclusion of being that gray Jedi in between. Like, cause she kept telling, remember, that's what she had told Sabine during the training, when Sabine started to get the hang of using the Force. She was like, yeah, she says, yeah, you're not bad. She says, but anger and hate is gonna make you powerful, but you're not balanced. You know what I'm saying? Doing that. And at some point, we're gonna have to see a Sabine realize, like, hey, I know how you're training me, kind of like how Finn Rao did that episode. She's like, look, man, I'm a Mandalorian, but I'm also training a Padawan. Sabine needs to start using some of her Mandalorian gear, bro.
And not even that, but again, the problem being with like how they're playing out with Ahsoka,
Mm-hmm.
like they're not even okay. They're not even giving Rosario Dawson a chance to really do her thing for real.
Mm-mm.
Like they got like you can't sideline a main character. Like it like I don't really. It's like she's on screen, but there's like it's just they don't like give her something to do for real. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like outside of her just going outside and fighting on the side of the ship, she been real low key the whole time.
A lot of times
And
it's just shots of her staring with her arms folded
yeah, we
and just
talking, we're looking, we're being contemplative. You know
mm-hmm,
what I'm saying? We're like, but her actually showing a range of emotion,
mm-hmm,
like
mm-hmm.
not really having done that. And to be honest, that's really that's been a. I know we're trying to show her as just like this leader,
Mm-hmm.
but if she was so pissy mad at Sabine, they like there should be something alerting the audience that this girl made Ahsoka so mad that she was done training her.
Yeah,
You feel what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
like you like some of this stuff you can't you gotta show us. You can't just tell us.
right, right.
You know what I'm
I mean,
saying?
it
Like
is.
I mean, that's my only beef with the show. Like everything else is clicking. It
Mm-hmm.
looks amazing. The Purrgil will like
Fantastic.
really good. Like I didn't even think that was gonna have him that huge in the
Yeah,
show.
I didn't think it
You
was
know what
gonna
I'm
be that big
saying?
either. I said,
Like,
yo, they are
nah,
huge.
they like even the planet they're on right now. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I love how my God, the person directed episode 2. I love how they are directing it. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But like, we gotta. I don't know, like I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like the way Dave is writing this and whoever he has on the team writing this,
Steph Green.
yeah, Steph Green. That's I believe that's a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's really the pacing from, and I don't even like using this word because some people don't even know what pace means, but the pacing for this show is like they got to pick it up, and and I know a lot of it for us because especially we just rewatch Rebels,
Mm-hmm.
so we are heavily biased in there. I want to see what the next thing is going to be because we
Right.
still got to figure out the whole Scion thing. We still got to go to the other galaxy, and we're
Mm-hmm.
not going to the other galaxy until episode 5, unless they really surprise us with
Mm-hmm.
the longer episode 4, because we still got to fight. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? We
We
still
still got
got
to
to,
do the fight scene
yeah,
with
this,
Balin,
yeah, with
Balin and them.
Balin and the boys trying to find Ahsoka and them.
Yeah.
So that has to occur first, unless they just dodge them, which I doubt that. So it's like stuff like that for me is like I really hope that we speed through some stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and also in the time be able to again explain the conflict between the
Yeah.
Bean and Sabine and Ahsoka.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, that's they have to do.
What do you hope to see in the next 3 episodes?
What do I hope to see? I hope to see? I guess for me, what I hope to see is to see number one, some flat. We need some more flashbacks of what's going on. But also too, we need to see more Ahsoka. Like, I mean, simply put, we need to see more Ahsoka. We need to get maybe a better understanding of this, saying galaxy between galaxies type, thing as well going on. And I mean, that's really my two things for real. And you touched on them, and I just need to see a little bit more flow, and I need to know exactly what happened between those two, because I would hate for it to be some type of like miracle type thing where how they did in Force Awakens. Next thing you know, you just saw Rey holding a daggone lightsaber, and she daggone could match Kylo Ren, blow for blow with a lightsaber type thing.
Yeah, I'll concede to that. As much as I
Yeah,
love Force Awakens,
yeah.
I will concede to that. My the thing I wanted, like the things, there's a couple of things I like. I'm hoping we get
Uh-huh.
one. Okay. The, I hope that they make. How can I say this? The fact that they're writing Sabine like this is kind of stepping on the feet of how she was written in animation,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like almost they're making her look very incompetent to
Mm-hmm.
me, because you
Mm-hmm.
already know like she's not like,
Mm-hmm.
aside from her being able to ride a speeder and figure out some puzzles,
Yeah.
everything else is like, oh man, like she sucks as a force user. Well, this whole force user thing is new, and
Yeah.
I don't want the old, like general audience to view Sabine like she's some trash when that's really like a
Yeah.
really really great character, great history, the whole nine. You feel what I'm
I hope
saying?
right. It, I, it's going in a direction like they're trying to marry sue her.
Yeah, another phrase that we hate. And
Yeah.
I and
And I don't even like saying that phrase,
Yeah,
but
because like people don't really understand what it
right.
means. Um, I really I hope that they don't like try to like fast track her force use abilities. If they still keep her struggling, then
Mm-hmm.
I would be very pleased. But I don't.
Right.
It's a kid show for the most
Right.
part. So, secondly, I really hope that Thrawn just don't pop up out of like, you know what I'm saying, episodes, like you said before, episode 6, you know what I'm saying, 2 minutes before the show ends. Like,
Right.
we back, baby. No, no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. Like, I really hope that, okay, this is going to sound crazy. I hope Ezra's dead, and I hope Thrawn is alive and he killed Ezra, and he just been doing his thing for the past, what, 10 years now? So,
Mm-hmm.
how long they've been lost? Like I really like I would
Oh,
like it would be dope.
yeah.
It'd be dope if like if Ezra ain't even alive and they have to
Yeah.
deal with, and again that'd be like for me like a real consequence. You know what I'm
Or
saying?
or I even wouldn't be I wouldn't even mind if Ezra did what we all saw, what you and me saw in the rewatch. He start kissing him within that dark side a little bit, and he becomes a servant of Thrawn.
That would be dope too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I know people are like incorrectly saying is Marak Ezra. I'm like, no, that's a dumb theory.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if he went dark side, I mean, I wouldn't mind it. It would kind of go in total contradiction to his route at the end of Rebel season 4, how he was kind of embracing, I gotta do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like Spike Lee. But he's always had his dark side flirtations.
Mm-hmm.
So I would also agree to that. And I need to see, okay, the only person I want to see really be a Jedi is Jason.
Yes.
He's the only one that really deserves to be a
You saw
Jedi.
what he said. He was like, I hear Sabine's been, he's gonna be a Jedi. He was like,
What about me?
me? I want to, hey, my daddy had the midichlorian counts,
I got
baby.
I got some Jedi genes in my veins,
Right.
baby.
And I think they're gonna go into that way because you saw how like Hera just looked at him and just kind of patted
She
him
was like,
like,
not this crap again.
right.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
it gets because then we don't even talk about your boy. We don't talk about Kanan.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Just 2 seconds, like, yeah, man, I know your dad was a great Jedi, man, but and then we get to hear just the whole reluctancy about her son being a Jedi, following her
Yeah.
dad's footsteps. And, it could have been, it's like it don't have to be a lot.
Or better yet, he's like telling them like, "Your dad talks to me all the time, like as a force ghost or something." Bro,
Like in
like
so
like
many ways.
like dad talks to me. They're like, "What are you talking about?" Dad talks to me about like, and you know, because we know we know because of Rise of Skywalker, Kanan Jarrus is a force ghost because he spoke to Rey. But hey, what do I know?
So much stuff that I mean, again,
Yeah.
we're gonna let him tell you. We're gonna let him tell your story. This is some of the stuff you wish would
Uh-huh.
happen,
Yeah.
and
And we're
it's
not being pissy fanboys. We're not.
nah, nah, nah,
No,
not
no.
at
This
all,
is
yo. Because I
no, we're
mean,
not.
because again, we don't watch stuff that we don't like. We just,
Right.
in this case, just pointing out. I mean, to me, a
Mm-hmm.
little old fan, some obvious stuff that we can just kind of
Yeah.
sprinkle in to keep the people who are like us, yeah, salt bait it on in there and smack it and rub it in, so that the we as fans, like the people who in the upper 20% who be watching all the stuff but don't read a whole lot of stuff, like we can actually like it won't be like because it's dragging, bro. Like
Yeah.
this episode drag. Like
You know the
I don't need to see contemplative Ahsoka no more, yo.
you know what it feels like, man. It feels like because we know the lore, we know the history, we know everything. It's like it's like in class, when we was in grad school, we're graduate students, we're PhD students, but we have that one class that's a graduate / undergrad, and you teach it, and like we have to sit in there for it because you have people who don't know everything about it, so they have to drag it and dumb it down just a little bit so people can keep up with what's going on.
Yeah, you see my face? That's how I feel about that.
Yeah, I know.
Nah, like,
And
because
it
it's stuck.
froze just
That's
like
what I'm
that.
saying, yo. Like for real. Like, I really hope that
that is the face of Rashad,
yeah,
how he feeling
that's
right
just how I
now.
mean. I'm gonna keep it in until it's over.
Keep
Like,
it,
I
baby.
really hope that this is the last episode of let's get the general audience ingratiated into the show.
Yeah.
Because like y'all bastards is caught up by now. I'm just gonna be honest. Everybody should be caught up.
Yeah.
But yeah, on that note, we will be back next Wednesday talking about Ahsoka episode 4. Unless something pops off really, really crazy. I'll see y'all on the socials. Thank y'all for coming through on IG, popping up last week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's all we got, man. Until next time. Peace.
Peace out, y'all.